Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. I have 3 new stories for you today. Let's go to the first one, about OP's mother-in-law, who told OP's wife to sleep with an investor so he invests in her startup business. Enjoy the stories, guys, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and leave a comment. My wife, 26, is running a startup business. I, 28 male, don't want to get into it that much, except to say it is in the online subscription space. I've been very proud of her because her business recently turned a small profit. I kept saying I knew she could do it. Yesterday, I had to go into her computer because there was some documents that was only saved in her computer that I needed right away. I was very stressed and was double-clicking around with Finder and moving and minimizing tabs of some things because somehow the PDF preview that I clicked on wasn't showing up on her Mac. I finally viewed the document, emailed it to myself, and rushed away to where I needed to be. I was exceptionally stressed with my situation, so at dinner, I was pretty non-communicative. I was feeling better around bedtime, and then she starts pulling my arm and saying that she didn't mean it. I didn't know what she was talking about, but she continued to say that she knew she wasn't going to get the investment otherwise, and that she couldn't live with that setback. I realized that when she saw her iMessages tab on her Mac was exposed, that I might have gone through them. Well, I didn't, but she starts fessing up that her mom encouraged her to sleep with an investor who was emailing her and saying he really likes her, and that he needs to really have faith in the people he invests in, and kept saying that he was staying X hotel and he's alone. I demanded that she show me the texts, and I saw her mother's texts. She said that I would never know, and that marriages don't work out, but that you need to play with the cards you're dealt with. Then there was other comments like, money and opportunity are held by rich men. Women succeed by associating themselves with them. And most women aren't as pretty as you. And a bunch of other disgusting things. There was a text where she agreed she was going to meet him at the hotel room and sleep with him. My wife then writes back to her mom more than a week later. It did feel good to sign that contract. It's like I feel good about myself again. Not insecure about everything as I was before anymore. I didn't feel as guilty about sleeping with him as I thought. Still feel bad though. Her mom liked the message. She confessed she deleted all the emails from the investor and promised that it's all business now. She only slept with him the one time. And there was no disrespect towards me and any of the emails. That she would never talk badly or be that person who reveals in the thrill of getting caught with an affair partner. She says this was never an affair and she only loves one man. I always knew my wife was kind of insecure. She's always been a bit obsessive about her appearance. Has gotten Botox since 21. Got a nose job at 18, rarely ever without makeup, even at home. Would compare her waist size to her mom's when she was young. She also never believed that much in herself. But to do this, I think this was the closest I came to a physical confrontation with her. I've never wished so much harm on her than I do internally right now. She's been texting me non-stop, saying she's been insecure her whole life and never meant any harm. She can't help feeling unimportant and useless sometimes, and felt like she was about to become an ordinary middle-class housewife with me who would never be anything more than middle class. Her mom texted with the pseudo-apology, saying she acknowledges her part, but that her startup was never going to get off the ground, and that was the only reason for it, and that she loves me very much. What do I do? My dad said that he always knew there was something fishy about my mother-in-law, and thought the entire family was superficial. He said to demand that she show that she chooses me over making money. How do I do that? Do I know for sure that she does? I do know she made a huge mistake, and I don't know if I can lay next to her the same again. If some encouraging words from her mom and the need for money is all it takes for her to cheat on OP, then OP should expect that she did it before, and that she will do it again. It was okay for her to sell herself, and she didn't even think to come clean. That is a clear sign that she doesn't regret what she did, and is ready to do it again if necessary. Is that okay for OP? I think OP needs to go to a lawyer and find out what his options are. Also, he needs to go to a doctor and get tested for STDs. I've been going to my classes, and future husband has been going to work. I am in my final year of college, and all I have left are my final exams. However, a large part of my final grade has been a project that I have been working on for the past year. Its deadline was Easter, and I'll get the grade for it when I get my exam results during the summer. I'll not be too specific with the details, but it was basically a solo research project on a subject of our own choosing that we obviously had to complete ourselves. The most assistance we could get was getting a couple of friends or people on another course to read through the finished project to check that everything made sense and was grammatically correct. I received an email the other morning from my department mentor, basically a personal liaison, asking me to come to a meeting about my project. I'll be honest, my mind didn't automatically jump to future mother-in-law. I've spoken to quite a few people who had been called into meetings because they'd forgotten to sign their name somewhere, or something like that. So I did just assume I'd missed the signature somewhere. Obviously, if it was just that, I wouldn't be posting here. I went to the meeting yesterday morning. Instead of it just being my mentor, it was the head of my year and also the head of my department. I was told that the department had been anonymously contacted, informing them that I hadn't completed my project alone, and had in fact paid for someone else to do it. The anonymous caller. Now, obviously, I have not paid for anyone else to ever do my work for me, especially the element that will make up most of my final grade. Apparently, anonymous accusations are always taken with a pinch of salt. However, Anon could recite my entire opening paragraph accurately, which has led them to investigating my project. I only sent my project to 2 other people, my sister who was a teacher, and future husband. Now, obviously, I don't believe that either of them had anything to do with this, especially after what was said next. I was basically told that if I was guilty, then to confess now, and whatever punishment that would come would be better than if I lied and they found out. I told them that I could send them all of the draft versions, notes, citation sources, etc. from my hours and hours of research, and was told that Anon had said that they'd sent me evidence in case I was investigated, so any files would have to be analyzed. I'll be honest, I started crying. In my mind, I was thinking that these lies would ruin any hope I had of graduating, which was one of the only things I've got to look forward to. I begged for them to tell me who has contacted them, which they obviously refused. My mentor took me out so I could compose myself, and told me that he didn't believe that I was lying, since he'd started to read my project, and it was stylized like all of my other work. Then he told me that he had heard that the phone number used to make the call was a local number, so he was wondering if it was a bitter student who I'd asked to read my work, and they were annoyed mine was better than theirs. I told him that only my sister and future husband had been sent it, and he said that he was firmly on my side for this whole thing. Now, this got my mind going about if future mother-in-law was behind this. I knew I was never going to know the exact number, but future mother-in-law wouldn't have been smart enough to use someone else's phone to make the call. Thankfully, I didn't have to think about how I could find out for long. I went to get a coffee on campus, and while I was there, future husband messaged me. Future husband works in a strictly no-phones environment, so this was a bit of a surprise, and I was worried that future mother-in-law or someone else was there and demanding that he goes home with them or something. He said that he was messaging about a message his mother had just sent. He's reading them but not replying, saying that she'd heard that I had cheated on my project, and she didn't know how he could date someone so deceptive. I hadn't told future husband about what had happened in the meeting. Had future mother-in-law not been so cocky, then I really would have had little hope of proving that my work was all my own. I literally sprinted back to my mentor's office, quickly filled him in on what future mother-in-law had done, and that she has basically confessed because she was so smug. He said that he'd need me to repeat this to his superiors, but he was sure that this would get me off the hook, especially if mother-in-law's number was in fact the one who called. Following the most repetitive afternoon of my life, where I had to explain in detail about the holes in the C story about 5 times to different people, as well as providing future husband's message and future mother-in-law's number. They said it was clear that future mother-in-law had gained access to my project and was trying to frame me. They apologized profusely for putting me under pressure, especially with the future mother-in-law stuff going on, and said that they'd take this as a lesson for them in trusting anonymous tip-offs. I have no clear idea how she was able to read my project word for word. My thoughts are that she either saved it onto a flash drive from future husband's laptop, or she did have future husband's email password, now obviously changed alongside everything else, and saved the project for herself. It feels so premeditated, like she has many little attacks prepared in case one should fail. This is the most scared I have been since this all started. We did contact the police after future mother-in-law threatened to report future husband as missing, just to inform them that we are no contact with his family and I was not keeping him against his will. However, you can't report lying about someone getting assistance with their college degree as a crime. We're going to research if this is bordering on harassment. Any ideas, guys? And holding tight for some more of these instances. I think OP needs to have security cameras on her home, mailbox, and car, both forward and back-facing. Typically, for defamation, slander, you have to have some sort of damages. So I don't know if OP can go that route or not. I think it'd be worth a call to OP's university's legal services. She's proven herself to be devious and willing to go to extreme lengths, both physical and professional. So OP needs to be extremely careful. I got married about a week and a half ago, but I need to get this off my chest. I've been trying my best to make peace with my no-mom, whom I've kept in limited contact for years. I would invite her to crafting days, various events, and naturally my bridal shower and the groom's dinner. She would always promise to be at each event, but would nearly always flake out last minute for BS reasons, including my bridal shower. In the entire year and a half I was engaged, my mother came to 2 of the dozen wedding-related events I invited her to, trying on wedding dresses shortly after I got engaged, and an hour of one single craft day. So, here we are, Friday before my wedding. I've gotten my nails done, I've been hanging out with my bridesmaids and groomsmen, and we're all getting really excited. I get a few quiet hours to myself before dinner, take a nap, and get up to start getting dressed for dinner. It's 3:30 p.m. Dinner starts in 2 hours. My phone buzzes as I get a text from my mom. This text follows weeks of us texting happily about wedding things, how excited we both are, how proud she is of the dress she found to wear, etc. Dearest OP, I will not be attending dinner tonight. Please pass along my regrets. You have seldom taken my calls or responded to my texts for many years now, and I feel completely disrespected. By me not showing up tonight, the end result is the same. I am disliked. It's okay. I'm happy with my new life now. If you still want me to attend your wedding, let me know. I don't ask. I don't beg. I tell her I want her at my wedding, and I hope she reconsiders. After that, her tone completely changes. Thank you. Please send me details. What time? Earlier than 5? Do I go directly to the venue? Where can I find you? What, if any, duties do I have? Should I come dressed? I can still do my own hair and makeup, or is someone doing that for us? By the way, I will be proud, gracious, kind, and upbeat. Spoilers. She was not proud, gracious, kind, or upbeat. She showed up the following morning an hour and a half later than I asked her to. While she waited her turn for hair and makeup, which she conveniently forgot to pay for, but I had expected this and brought extra cash. She took turns between chatting with my bridesmaids and crying about God knows what. She finally manages to collect herself, and we get through getting ready pictures, the ceremony, and cocktail hour. I do a first dance, then a father-daughter dance, which I'm sure irked her, as they've been split up since I was an infant, and she hates him because N. And then dancing started. I was so caught up in the moment, I didn't think to get her and bring her to the dance floor. Oh well. My bustle comes undone after the first song, so I grab a couple bridesmaids and head to the bathroom to have them help me. On the way, I see my mom in the lobby having an emotional conversation with my grandma. Nope, not today. I keep walking. Bustle secured, I go back to the reception. A few hugs from friends and family later, and I turn around to see my mom, her brother, her mom, and my aunt standing behind me towards the entry door. My grandma comes up to hug me. Then my mom comes up and says she's leaving. I say, okay, bye, thanks for coming. I'm not giving in to this. Unfortunately, I was about to head back to our getting ready room, so I could move some stuff from there to my hotel room. A bridesmaid and I wait a few minutes for Mom to leave, then head to the room. Of course, Mom is there, crying, putting her shoes on. Still no, still not today, Satan. I go about gathering the stuff I had come down there for without saying a word to her, and my bridesmaid follows suit. I turn around to gather something else, and Mom is there, puffy-eyed and staring at me. She comes and gives me a hug and tearfully says, "Have a wonderful life. I hope we talk again someday," and turns and leaves. I flip her off behind her back as she goes, and my bridesmaid turns to me and goes, "What the hell? Did that actually just happen?" So, my mom decided I had disowned her, and in turn, disowned me on my wedding day. Joke's on her. The rest of my friends and family that continued to celebrate with us late into the night made me and my husband feel so loved. They had no idea that my mom had left. I am going to have a wonderful life with my husband, friends, and family. Honestly, she's mad because OP didn't make it her wedding day. Her marrying her self-pity, and OP being the nice bridesmaid skipping behind her. Narcissists honestly believe the world should always be about them. And enjoying your day, everyone effectively told her that the day was about OP and OP's husband. She couldn't deal with it, and did her best to cause a drama, and she left. OP should never feel bad about not asking her to dance. She's an adult. She could get up, come over to OP, and get involved. That's an issue between her and her feet, not because OP didn't include her. OP clearly tried very hard, and she tried very hard to ruin it for OP.